Big Drive Energy special edition interview with PGA Pro Cam Crabtree. The number one golf podcast in Colorado is interviewing the player who is going to play every golf course in Colorado. We're going to ask him about the journey, ask him about his journey to being a PGA Pro and everything in between. All right, let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy special interview edition. We've got PGA Pro Cam Crabtree with us doing the journey to, I'm trying to find your exact Instagram name here. I should have done this before I
well done, Spencer.
Yeah, I know. I fucked
PGA _ Cam Crabtree. That's the
There we go. There we go. And he is, so we're going to get into your whole journey here from playing every course in Colorado, the beloved state that we grew up in and learned to play golf in, and I went to college in. But I want to start with a hard hitting question because you're working at Common Ground Golf Course, great track out in Aurora, Colorado. But how shitty has this winter been being a golf pro and you being open and 60 degrees every day? Because we remember those days and they are not fun when you don't have any snow and can't just like take a break. You probably got a full sheet today.
Oh yeah, we have a full sheet today. We have a full sheet for the next several days, and like you get used to that break that you get over the winter. Like you don't need to be closed for the entire winter, but just having that time kind of away and things are quiet and you can kind of be a shut in your office. It's like, I don't like every time it's like, oh, we've still got some time, but it's like, man, I think we start considering golf season to start sometime around March. And like, it doesn't seem like we're going to get that break. I think there's gonna be a lot of cranky golf pros this year.
Yeah. I don't think you realized you signed up to be a pro in Arizona because it seems like more of a year round type of schedule at this point in Colorado, maybe a month or two here and there. Hopefully you guys get a bunch of snow in March because I mean, it's just not good for the golf courses on top of, like you said, the entire golf industry is going to be pissed off the entire year of 2026 because it feels like 2025 just rolled straight into this year and it has not stopped.
Yeah, people are like, how's the winter going? And it's like, well, I don't think we've had winter. The courses I'm concerned for, like, I think your nicer, higher end courses will figure out the whole water situation, but your course, like we're down the street from Aurora Hills, like, how is that course going to look come July if we just continue to get no rain or snow? But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they might have to consider zero-scaping some of these county courses that don't have the funds to keep watering throughout the winter and everything. But so let's start here. Give us your golf background. How'd you start playing golf? Where'd you get your PGA card at? Just kind of give us a little bit rundown on your background.
Yeah, so I've been playing golf since I was like 2 or 3 years old. So my dad's picked up golf at the same time I did. We both kind of grew into golf together. But a lot of people ask me, like, did I play golf in college and all that? And honestly, I played golf in high school and I was a mid to high 70s player. Ended up joining the Air Force right out of high school and got a degree in aerospace engineering and did that for a while. And realized I hated being enjoy being in the military anymore. And I actually started working part-time at the Broadmoor to kind of just get free golf because one of my buddies worked there. And I was like, I think this is what I'm going to do. I kind of just fell in love with it and realized there's no bad days working in golf relative to operating satellites of just, this is it. So spent the last year or two of my time in the military, like becoming a golf pro, and worked at the Broadmoor and then worked at the First Tee down in Colorado Springs and just kind of went from there. And now I'm at Common Ground. I worked for the city of Denver for a little bit and I love it. Now there's no looking back.
That's awesome. So did you grow up in Colorado then, or did you just come to Colorado for the Air Force Academy and then kind of stick there?
So I didn't even go to the Air Force Academy. I got stationed at Schriever Air Force Base, which is outside of Colorado Springs. But I've originally from Houston and I've been here since 2000. 16 now, so about 10 years now.
I don't blame you for getting out of Houston. It stays a little hot there throughout the year. If we think Colorado gets warm, it gets crazy hot down there. But I also saw on your Instagram, like I scrolled back. I like to scroll back to very old posts. And in like 2016, you were playing Cheyenne Shadows quite a bit. Was that a course that you got pretty familiar with?
Yeah, I'd say so. Before I started playing Cheyenne Shadows a lot, there used to be a course down in the Springs called Silver Spruce Golf Course. It was on Peterson Air Force Base. Their thing was they had the most dog legs of any course in Colorado. It was a great course, but they kind of got screwed over by a water situation. There was the whole fire fighting foam water thing, and there was a couple of years where they literally could not water the course at all. As you would imagine, it just went to you'd hit the fairway and a dust cloud would come up. And eventually, once they got it fixed, it was too late and ended up closing, I think, in like 2021, which was not a time you thought any golf courses were going to close. But before that, then after that, I switched to Cheyenne Shadows. But Cheyenne Shadows got to be one of the most like underappreciated golf courses in the entire state. Like we're talking like one of the best military courses in the country. Just such a good spot, incredible views. And you spend like, I think it's like 40 or $50. Like you just can't beat that.
Yeah, I went to college down in Colorado Springs and did the UCCS PGM program. So I actually played one of my college tournaments for the PGM program. We played at Silver Spruce, and I remember it's way back in the day. I don't have the best memory, but we'd always play all the courses in Colorado Springs. We got to play Eisenhower a few times. Country Club of Colorado was one of our spots. Pine Creek, of course, was like our main spot when I was in college there. I don't know what the kids play now or if they have different sort of memberships, but Colorado Springs has a lot of really good golf, and it's just like it's in an area that you wouldn't like when you think of Colorado Springs from an outsider. Growing up, we grew up 45 minutes north of it, and Colorado Springs was just never an area we went. We'd go to Denver, we'd go to Parker, go to Castle Rock, but Colorado Springs wasn't really on our radar. And then I went to college there and kind of lived there for 5 years, and there's incredible golf down in that area, and even more south than that when you get into Pueblo and Canyon City and all that.
We also
Canyon City, I mean, almost 4 Mile.
Well, I actually haven't played 4 Mile, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I've never gotten down there in the winter. I heard it's a Jim Ing thing, and we'll kind of get into some designers as we go through all the courses that you've played. But we also actually, my brother and I both coached our high school golf team. 4 or 5 years ago. He coached for 4 years, I coached for 3 years, and we used to be in the Jeffco League, where Elizabeth High School used to be in the Jeffco League, but then they moved us to Colorado Springs to the Continental League, or I forget, or whatever it was called. I have no idea. But we ended up taking our kids down a lot to Cheyenne Shadows, Cherokee Ridge. Yep, Cherokee Ridge. All those courses. What was the other? There's another one on a base over kind of on the west side of on the east side of Colorado Springs. I forget what that one's called.
That was Silver Spruce.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah,
okay.
That was the one.
Oh shit.
And then now all that's left is Eisenhower and Cheyenne Shadows.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't even realize that was Silver Spruce. That was actually kind of a cool little track. Like that's a bummer that closed down, but so we're very familiar with that area. So you went from Colorado Springs, now you're up in Common Ground or at Common Ground. How do you like that track? I mean, it is pretty widely known as probably one of the best public golf courses in the Denver area.
And I've been so open about this even before I started being a pro here. I think Common Ground is probably, like you said, one of the best public courses in the state of Colorado. I mean, the championship kind of like for how short this place has been around, the championship history it already has of holding the USAM and the US Mid-Am here, even as the sister site, just an incredible golf course. I mean, for $65 for a CGA member, like just, you can't beat what you're getting here.
Yeah. And then you did work at, you said, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, the cool thing about Common Ground is like this is a capital G golf course of like golf comes first here. It's not about weddings. It's not about hosting events and a ton of charity shotguns. It's golf. Like there's a lot of sticks here, and that's what I love about this place. But go ahead with what you were going to say.
Yeah, so you worked at City Park as well, and that was I played City Park before it got redesigned when I was in college or just out of college, I can't remember, and then came back, and the redesign is just incredible. Obviously, the golf course itself is it's a good golf course, but it's very much like they only have so much room to do essentially anything with. So there's a lot of more drivable holes and smaller holes, and you're kind of in danger on every single fairway. But when were you at City Park, and were you there? Obviously, was it after the renovation and the whole new clubhouse? Because the vibes at City Park and the like on the back patio afternoon sunset is a pretty elite too. But like you said, not as much capital G golf there. It's a little bit more about the area and the people and the events and all that kind of stuff.
100%. And I was only there for last season. I was at Welshire before for the last few years before that. So still with the city, but City Park is just a machine. I mean, that's I've got to imagine it's the busiest golf course in the state of Colorado. Like I don't think anyone does more rounds for the amount of holes that they have. And I've also never been to a public golf course that's not a resort or has like a high-end restaurant. That just like every night there's just this community vibe just out there on that back patio. There's kids kicking around a soccer ball. Like everyone's like people that aren't golfers just come there. Like you get there in the morning and people are like remote working from the patio. It's cool. Like I've never seen anything quite like that at a municipal course. They really have a big sense of community. It would be nice if there was a little bit more opportunity for the community to actually play the course, but that is what it is.
Yeah, we've swung and missed a few times on trying to get tee times out there. Like basically it feels like trying to get into the lottery at some point. You have to stay up till midnight 2 weeks before and all this crazy shit. Like it's pretty extreme to try to get just a local tee time, but it just goes to show you, how many people love that place and how good it is. And I will say, like, for the cost, it is a great value. And that's kind of what makes it so hard to get a tee time. Like but realistically, this day and age, if a place is cost effective, then it's going to be packed all the time. It's either expensive and it's still pretty busy, or it's reasonably priced and there's never an open tee time. That's just kind of the day and age of golf that we live in right now.
Yeah, it's wild. Like obviously the further you go outside the city, the less busy it gets, but it just feels like anything can be busy. If you just have a patch of grass with some holes on it, you could probably sell green fees here.
100%. Well, so let's hop into all the courses that you've played, because we've also followed your journey on Instagram. I've seen you on TikTok. I've seen you on Instagram. And it was cool that you reached out to us. And I was like, why have we not thought about having this guy on yet? But first give us the number of courses you've played and how many you have yet to go.
So currently I'm at 124. I played the 124th course on Monday, and there's just shy of 300 courses in Colorado. And kind of how I break down that number, it's not based on like facilities. Like if you go to Kennedy has 3 9-holes plus the par 3, that would be 4 golf courses. So, and then like Common Ground with a 18-hole course and a par 3, that's 2 courses. So, but it's quite the journey, and it didn't just start when I started doing the Instagram and TikTok stuff of just like that was the original number, and you just really come to realize how much golf there is in Colorado.
Well, I think, that's one thing that we get kind of butthurt about being from Colorado is there's a lot of golf here, and there's a lot of great golf here, and there's championship level golf, but obviously with the elevation, it makes it tough for, if you've played, it's Colorado golf is if type of scenario. If you played it, you've been to the courses like Bear Dance or mountain courses, yes, you're like, oh my God, these are unbelievable. But then we have one PGA Tour event here every 10 years with the BMW or whatever. And so you don't get to see it from a national level, but the golf here is unbelievable. And we've played in a lot of states and a lot of places around the country, but obviously we're homers and we're biased because we're from Colorado, but there's the amount of golf here is incredible. And just the wide array of golf. You've got city, you've got mountain, you've got borderline desert, and like Canyon City, 4 Mile feels like you're in Arizona. There's so many different types of golf here too.
It's wild. And like you said, there's every type of golf here. And like the thing I tell a lot of people of what we're so fortunate as Colorado golfers is how much good quality golf there is here and like at a reasonable price. Last time I was down in Frisco for something with the PGA, I forgot like in Texas you can go to a course and spend $85 and it's just an absolute fucking goat track. Where like the bridge is falling apart and you're hitting off dirt. And it was like, oh yeah, like I can maybe name like less than 3 courses that are not rural golf course in Colorado that are like this place sucks, or like this is a goat track. We're in a good climate where even the cheaper courses are in good shape. Like you go to Willis Case, a pretty like run of the mill golf course, and it's always like it's plush, it's got thick fairways, you got good rolling greens. Like, and you can't say that for everywhere throughout the country.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a conditions issue. And I mean, as you get out further into the eastern part of Colorado, I'm sure you'll run into some pretty dried out golf courses once you get out there towards Kansas. But for the most part in the Denver metro area, up in the mountains, things like that, everything's in pretty damn good shape for the most part. So
Yeah. Yeah, like if you complain about course conditions, it's probably nothing like too terrible, really.
yeah. Well, so this is a pretty pressing question, I feel like. Do you have a significant other? Because I feel like that would be pretty hard to do with this mission that you're on, between being a PGA pro and then also playing all this golf. Like you either have a really pissed off girlfriend or wife, or you have no significant other, because that I mean, the amount of golf is just absurd.
I am engaged to my wonderful fiance Lauren, and she's super supportive of this. The nice thing is she has a normal Monday through Friday job. I often have times off on the weekdays, and that's when I play in tournaments and go play with buddies. Like Mondays and Fridays are my days that I go play, and at least it doesn't disrupt our life as a couple to go play during the week. So that's kind of how you make it work. And there's still the occasional time where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go journey over to the eastern plains of Colorado. I'll be back tomorrow, and kind of go. But you make it work. And I mean, she's so supportive of this whole journey. So that it helps a lot.
When did this whole journey start? Like you said, it started before, but you basically, did you just were playing other places in Colorado and just playing golf, and you decided like, hey, I'm going to start making this a thing? Cause I feel like we've played a lot of golf courses in Colorado, and we used to do some course reviews and stuff, but it never, with having 2 of us, it was like, all right, we don't have enough time to be able to do this. But when did you really kind of lean into it? And then did you have a first video, whether TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, that started to pop, and then you're like, holy shit, this is actually something that I'm going to continue to do?
Yeah. So kind of how it started is like, I always been one that liked to go try new places. The first course number 1 is Silver Spruce, which unfortunately is now closed. But I had started that one I played in 2016 at some point, and then I think that was the only course I played in all of 2016. It was kind of last winter, or I guess the winter of 2024. I was sitting in the shop with one of my buddies, and we had this magazine that had a map with a list of all the courses. And the course was closed, and we were just kind of like going through, like, all right, let's see who's played the most courses between all of us here. And I was like, it'd be cool. We had just played some random ass course, like way up northeast. And I was like, we should try to play all of them. I was like, that'd be pretty cool. Like, why not? And then I was starting to kind of go down that journey. I had like framed this map and started putting little push pins in it. I was like, this is my thing. Like, I enjoy this. This is fun. Wasn't really doing anything with it. Like, I think people would be into it. And I was like, oh, like, sure, why not? I hadn't done had massive success on social media before. So the very first video I posted was at Columbine Country Club, and I had a tournament there, and it was pretty half-assed compared to like all the videos I have up now, where I was playing in a tournament. I kind of just like panned my phone around every once in a while, threw together a little script and like a kind of vague rating system. And in that video, it got like probably like 20,000 views. And I was like, oh, holy cow. Like people are kind of into this. And I was like, all right, well, let's give it another go. So I think the second one I did was at Highland Hills South Par 3 course. I don't know if you're bees. And that one did like 150,000. I was like, well, clearly something's here. And like, I think within like a couple of days, I got like several hundred followers picked up, and I was like, well, cool. I think I'll just run with this. And it's kind of just kept steady growing. And I was going to do the journey anyways, and if people enjoyed watching it, that's just a bonus. And I can kind of share kind of what we have out there, especially all the hidden gems and private clubs that people don't even think about.
Yeah, that's very cool. And like just the concept of thinking about trying to play every golf course in a state is pretty damn impressive. So let's go through some of like your favorites, and I guess let's start with like if you had to pick your favorite county of golf courses, or your favorite like region, like the mountains or the city, or like up north, because I know Longmont and Loveland and Windsor, there's a lot of good tracks. Fort Collins, or do you prefer it down south or out west? You know, there's all the, I guess there's all four directions to go here. So
That's such a good question. I am like, when it comes to golf and how I appreciate golf courses, I'm one, and as someone that loves common ground, I appreciate championship golf. So like, there's some good mountain courses out there, but like, I think a lot of it's gimmicky, and I don't feel like it's what I enjoy playing day to day as much as other things. I'd say like the Denver, like the Front Range region, especially Denver, like I think the like greater Denver area has like 80 or 90 golf courses. Like it's hard to not just be in love with this whole area. But then, like you said, the stuff down south is so cool too. Like you get down to like Canyon City. I'm actually heading down there again on Monday. Sand, like it's pretty sweet. But the Denver area, we just have such an abundance of a variety of golf just within the city. It's great.
Yeah. So do you have this like whole plan mapped out essentially where you're like, okay, or is it just kind of fly by the seat of your pants? You have a list of the ones you know you've played and the ones you know you get to. And then a second parter of that, obviously you probably play common ground a fair amount because you work there, but do you have like an aversion to going and playing another place that you've already played because you're on this journey, and not that you want to just get it done, but you do want to do it at some point? So does that like create something like where you're like, I've already played there, I don't necessarily want to go play it, or you just like, all right, fuck it, we'll play it again?
It's a good question. I guess I answer the first part of that first, of like how I plan this. There's very little planning. It's like, hey guys, where do we want to play this week? And the most planning goes into the further away ones of like, if we're gonna go make a journey to go do something, we plan it out a little bit. But like I think the day before is when we decide where we're gonna play on Monday, and it's kind of just from the hip of just like, all right, let's scroll through the spreadsheet that I have, and like let's figure out what I haven't played and let's go there. So that's kind of how that part works. It's mostly just freewheeling and just see what happens. And like if I get invites, I'll do it that way too, because obviously some private clubs I can just call up and be like, hey, I want to come play, and I can do that. But some clubs are a little bit more where I need to garner an invite to get out there. But for the next part of it, say the next part again.
Do you have like an aversion to replaying a course if you have like a Monday off and you can't really find, or you don't have the time to go out to a place like way out west or east or whatever? You're like, nah, dude, I already played there, not doing that again.
It's that's one of my like toughest things that I battle with internally is like, okay, do I want to go play this course again? Like playing common ground all the time, it's just because I'm already here. But people will be like, hey, do you want to go play Welshire? It's like, I don't know. Like there's no content to be made there, which it like play some random course. But every once in a while I'll redo some courses and hit them again. Or if I really enjoy a course, I've started to go back and remake videos that I made at the beginning to kind of re-show the course off again. But for the most part, the goal is to try to keep playing a new one, so this doesn't actually take me till like 2039.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I kind of want to go through like your favorite courses in each region. Like give us, and it can be, and
yeah,
I guess we got to separate country clubs and public golf courses as well. So give us your favorite mountain course, favorite Denver country club in Denver, and then give us like your favorite one. I don't even know, like down south, like in between the Springs or between, Canyon City, even further south of the metro area, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, so when we talk mountains, that's on my goals for this year, is to play more of the mountain courses. I unfortunately haven't played as many of the mountain courses as I would like to have. My favorite's got to be Red Sky Ranch. It's pretty sweet. I mean, they've got 2 courses, and both of them are top 100 public courses in the country. Incredible, incredible courses, and like it's mountain golf, but it doesn't feel like overly gimmicky that some can, or ridiculously hard. So that's the mountains. For the, I'd say the greater Denver area, my number one has to be Colorado Golf Club. Probably one of the like more slept on in like a relative way clubs of like not many people know where I'm talking about when I bring up Colorado Golf Club if you're not kind of deeper in the cut of golf, but that's one of the best golf courses in the state of Colorado, and it's incredible championship golf. They also held the USAM as a sister site a few years back with Cherry Hills. That one's it's just so good, incredibly hard. It feels like it perfectly captures the essence of Colorado. You have mountain views, you have plains and prairie type stuff. You see pronghorn out there walking around, and you got the trees. Like it feels like it's why it's called Colorado Golf Club. It is like the essence of Colorado golf. So that one's really cool. Head down south, Broadmoor. I have a soft spot for it, especially because I started there. But the Broadmoor East Course is one of the most special properties that I've ever played anywhere. I've played some great stuff across the country, and just how pure that place is, and just like there's not a single blade of grass out of place. You'd think the superintendent goes around with a pair of scissors and cuts the long pieces of grass off. It's so good, and it's very playable, and the views are mind-blowing. And the amount of major championships they've held there, like most people don't know, Jack Nicklaus and Annika Sorenstam both won their first majors there. It's got really cool history. And then outside of that, Ballyneal is my favorite course in the state. It's hard to beat that place. Best in the world.
Yeah, we grew up about 20 minutes away from Colorado Golf Club. And if you ask Mitchell, he's got 2 hole-in-ones on the par 3 there. So don't ask him about it, but because he'll tell you, and we'll get into a whole story about it.
No, CGC is actually like probably both of in our top 3. And I actually saw that you played Flying Horse and Flying Horse. I think you've played both Flying Horses, and those are also in probably both of our top 10s. We actually, correct. I haven't played North yet, and I don't think Spencer has either, but just the OG Flying Horse is probably top 5 for both of us in the state, because that place is so pure as well. But like you said, it feels like, I mean, Flying Horse is slightly more gimmicky, but Colorado Golf Club is probably the best like championship test of golf in Colorado, I would say. It's just a massive course, not 100%. Not super narrow off the tee or anything, but the approaches into the greens are super challenging. The greens are really tough, and it is long. So you got to be, I would say it's more of a second shot golf course, but I would agree. Like if I could be a member anywhere in Colorado, I would probably pick Colorado Golf Club. It's so freaking good.
Yeah, one of my friends that I played with in a tournament, he's an assistant pro at CGC, and he was like, he'd asked me my opinion between the two, Ballyneal and CGC. And then when I told him Ballyneal, his rebuttal was, he's like, well, which one would you rather play every single day? And it was like, oh, that's the question there of like, if I had to be a member at one, like no factor of like how close you live to either one, but I was like, Colorado Golf Club's where you'd want to play every single day of the week.
For sure.
Yeah. So when you're hitting up these places, obviously the public places, you know, tee times are just insane. So you have to kind of plan that part of it out. But more of these private places, do you like show up and reach out as like a PGA pro and kind of tell them what you're doing? And do they know, like some of these places probably know when you call them up, but do you have to kind of like go through with what you're doing and okay that with any places? Because we recently had a video a couple of years ago that we took at I won't name the golf course, but it's hosted a playoff event here in Colorado in the last 10 years. So you can deduce where that is. But we had a great video go out, and it had like 200,000 views within an hour or 2 hours. And then we had to get it taken down because we were not supposed to be videoing apparently. But do you run any problems with that? Or do you know, like, do you just let them know right off the bat, like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what the videos usually look like. And are most places usually cool with it? Or do you have to go through a process of like, all right, well, maybe we can't play there, or maybe we can't do the videos here?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it really just depends. Like some courses, like if I go play the Ranch Country Club in Westminster, like they're usually pretty excited to have me out now to like be able to promote their course, or a lot of those courses just genuinely don't care either. And kind of towards the beginning, it was more of a better off to ask for forgiveness situation, and nothing. And I say positive things. I don't go and shit talk places either. So those ones, like as more people in the community know about it, and more people are aware of it, people are pretty open to it. For the most part, I just go and ask of like, hey, can I bring some buddies out on a something list that I do expect there may be some issues with videoing. I think I know the one you're talking about, and I've also been kind of warned that that'll probably be one where I might just be telling a story from the parking lot sort of situation for the video. But it's like Denver Country Club was one that I was excited that I got invited out by their head pro to play, and was able to, he was like, yeah, we'll go out on like a later in the afternoon. He's like, we'll just kind of be discreet about the filming and just be aware of what you say and things like that. But there are some incredibly private golf courses in the mountains that don't necessarily have members in the typical sense, that I've been told that I might have to sign NDAs to even play those places. So whatever, these are ones that like you're not going to find on Google that I've made videos about, of just talking about them, but like, but yeah, and part of the journey is still just the journey. And if it doesn't make a video out of it, then that's fine. I think there's enough that can be said sitting in my office talking about a course, even if I can't show the visual representation of it, that still brings value. But it would be nice to obviously be able to video every single one of them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, has any pro or any facility been like turned off when you've reached out to them? Like, have they basically told you, not necessarily, I mean, nobody's going to tell you, no, you're a PGA pro in the state, you know, it's not like you're just some random dude that's like, can I get a tee time here? But has there been some warmer facilities versus others? You know, I'm sure there has.
Oh, of course. I mean, some facilities are like so stoked, or like reach out to me directly to come out and just like want me to show off what they have. And I've had the discussions with courses before that won't be named that are like, hey, like, the owners might be sensitive or the members might be sensitive. Just be aware of what you say, which I personally, I think there's value to be found in every single golf course. That there's never been a golf course that I've played in the state of Colorado that I don't think should exist. Of like, even you go out and play in the Eastern Plains and you're literally hitting onto a green made of sand. Like that place serves a purpose and provides golf to their community. And like, I think there's still something positive to be found in every single one of those experiences. And I try to express that to people that I'm coming out to, like, hey, I'm not going to like come to your $100,000 club and tell everyone how much it sucks. I don't think that's good for anybody. So, but for the most part, I usually have just approached a lot of courses of, hey, I'm Cam from Common Ground. And then if they know me, they know me. I can go from there.
That makes sense.
I think it's a lot easier being a pro. I think if you were just like some random guy trying to make content, I don't know that you would receive the same reception all the time.
Yeah, you're definitely in a sweet spot there where you can make it work, but you can also make content out of it. So you've kind of done the perfect capitalization of your position, because you're taking not taking advantage, but you're highlighting all these different courses and showing a benefit to them while also being able to play it yourself and enjoy it. So it kind of is like works out for everybody, it seems like.
Exactly. And I think that's the cool part of it. Like, I think it'd be a much different thing. Like if I just went for just like slam dunking on courses and being like, oh, check out how bad this place is, or this is overrated. As much as I want to go like dunk on Arrowhead, like I'm probably not going to like genuinely go do that.
Dude. Yeah. That is the tier one of everybody outside of Colorado wants to play that golf course. And I'm like, all of our friends that come to Colorado for their bachelor parties or this or that, they're like, oh, we got to play here. And I'm like, no, you don't. There's plenty of other places that you can go play that are either just as good or just, you know, not, we're not big gymming fans in general, but just like we're more, and this will kind of lead me to my next question. We're kind of just the pure golf. We love like the gimmicky courses are fun to play once in a while, or fun to take your wife out. My wife loves some of the gimmicky places where she can hit it 20 feet right of the green. It bounces to a foot, you know, like that stuff is fun for them. For us, it's a little bit more of like, all right, this is kind of ridiculous. So what if you had to gun to your head, which not that serious, but if you had to pick your favorite style of golf, what would your favorite style be of all the courses you've played in Colorado? You don't have to pick your favorite course, but your favorite type of golf that you've maybe seen in Colorado or maybe played somewhere else.
Yeah, I love like lengthy type golf is kind of my favorite of like your bigger fairways, bigger greens, where it just feels like big ballpark golf is what I like refer to it as. Like you go play like Riverdale or Common Ground, of course, and like those places are great of when it just feels like traditional golf and the way it was meant to be. Uh, I like I feel like I'm a really good driver of the golf ball, but like as soon as you put me on like Ravenna or somewhere where it's tight fairways and corridors where it's like, all right, if you miss the fairway, you're out of bounds. I feel like that's not fun. Like I don't need to just keep re-teeing all day. I don't think that's a lot like a blast for me, but uh and I think we all could probably say to some extent we favor the courses we play well at too, and like we all know what type of styles of golf we work for, and like super tight stuff. Like you take me to Pine Creek, and like that course just wrecks me every time because it's just like all right, just have to hit 3-iron all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's I was actually going to ask you, have you played Haymaker up in Steamboat yet? Because that is one of my favorite like link style, but it's in the mountains. Like you have all the views, but the layout is phenomenal in my opinion.
No, I have not played that one yet. That's one like I get a lot of people constantly commenting of like, hey, you should play this course next, this course next. Haymaker comes up a pretty fair amount. That's on like the short list for like the mountain course I'm going to hit once we get to like that time of year.
Well, real quick, I've played there one time. I was a senior in high school, and I think I shot 2 or 3 under par, and that's the only time I've ever played it. So that is, like you said, you tend to like the courses you play well on. And I was like, yeah, I think I could play this place every day. Like literally never seen the course before, fired a couple under par. I was like, yeah, this place is for me.
The best
so
course in the world.
Yeah, but it truly is a great public track with obviously Steamboat's not easy to get to, and it's gotten pricey at this point, but it's a great track. You'll definitely have to get up there.
Oh, that's how I feel about Aspen Glen. I don't know if you've played Aspen Glen, but I played in a couple of PGA tournaments there where it was like a PGA Pro-Am. And so it was like a PGA Pro with like 3 of your AMs from your course. And I shot 68 there. The first time I'd ever seen it. I was smoking cigars. I was drinking White Claws. And it was one of the better days of vibes in my life. And I also played one of the better rounds I've ever played. So Aspen Glen is always a peak for me. It's just in terms of golf course.
Oh, yeah. I always have to admit, Bill, like, yeah, the first time I played Riverdale, like I shot a few under par that day as well. So it's like, yeah, I love that course now.
Oh, Riverdale is truly probably, I would have to put Common Ground, Riverdale, and, throw another one in there. But in the Denver area, those are probably the 2 of the best public tracks, just 100%. From a layout standpoint, from a condition standpoint. But this kind of takes me into another question. What is your, I guess not necessarily your white whale, but one that you've been wanting to get to and that you haven't made it to yet? Like what's the next one you have underlined?
The 2 really big ones, this one more just comes down to like getting the invites too, is Eagle Springs up in Vail, I want to say is what it's actually in. I don't know if either one of y'all heard that course, but like Rush Limbaugh is a member there. Like you're talking about, I think like only like 20% of their members are local. Super private. That's the one that you could get to the end of the list and potentially never play. But like every time I've driven past that course, I don't think I've ever seen a single person on it. And it just looks from pictures just so sick. So like that's on the list of just like trying to bug people like, hey, can you get me out there? Can you get me out there? And then Castle Pines Golf Club, it just feels like the one that's right there and so close. It's just like, all right, I just really want to play there. I went out to the BMW last year and it was like, this just looks incredible. Feels like the closest thing you're going to get to like Augusta conditions.
Yeah, no, that place is incredible. And I also played really well there. Mitchell and I, when we played in the media day there last year, before the BMW championship, both of us played fucking pretty phenomenal there. For obviously we weren't tipping it out and going, 8,000 yards or whatever they actually played the BMW at, but I was ready to shoot 90 and I actually played pretty well there. So it was a little more palatable for me at that point.
That's sick. And like, I've got to say for like courses that are actually accessible that I could just go play if I wanted to, that's been so high on the list. And I just need to plan out the trip is going to Redlands Mesa out in like Grand Junction. That course looks just fucking incredible. Like so many people that have played it have been like, hey man, I think you're going to throw out like every course you've said is the best public course once you play Redlands, and like it just looks so cool.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of good golf over on the western slope. I've played in the Rocky Mountain Open a handful of times, so Tierra Rado is another really fun one out there. The views are awesome. The golf course is definitely a little gimmicky, a little on the tighter side. You're probably gonna be hitting some irons off the tee, but just the western slope, I think it's such a underutilized area of Colorado. Like a lot of people don't realize it's basically Arizona or Utah, not quite as warm, but you get a little bit more of that warm desert feel, and there's so much good golf out there, and the views are phenomenal. Like it truly, I mean, the journey that you're on right now is so cool because you get to see every single part of what Colorado has to offer, and it feels like probably one of the most diverse golf states probably in America.
Because even if you play in like Florida, like I've lived in Florida before, and like if you play in like Miami, you play up in the Panhandle, like it's all relatively the same thing, like to some extent. You've got some outliers, but for the most part, it's all thick Bermuda grass. Probably has a lot of houses on it. Probably has a shitload of water. And here, it's so different.
Yeah. So give us one of your. Well, first of all, have you played the Mad Russian?
I have played the Mad Russian. I don't have it on video. It was like just before I started the journey that I played Mad Russian. I have a real soft spot for that place. It's gimmicky, and it's just like it's fun. Like granted, another course where I think I shot like 3 or 4 under par, so I'm a little softer on it. But that's such a goofy course. But like, what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, well, so yeah, that's what my question was going to be. Give us a course similar to the Mad Russian, because that would be my answer if I was in your shoes from the courses I've played. But that's low key. Not very many people either know about it or just like in the area. It could be goofy, could be quirky, but you just, for some reason, you just enjoy the golf course. And it's like one of those where you'd recommend somebody even drive a couple hours and know that it's not going to be a CGC or a Cherry Hills or, name any
100%.
country club here, but it's just like quirky, but you're like, all right, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, that one for me has got to be, and I'm headed down there again on Monday. But if you're ever looking for like somewhere to play in the winter, like especially right now, if a little bit of snow left here, it's not going to have it there. Is like if you go down to 4 Mile, it's a gymming, and it's the most gymming. Like it's the most ridiculous, over the top. I wouldn't ever want to play like a golf tournament, like a serious golf tournament there, because it's just kind of dumb. But like it's just like you'll just laugh and like have a good time if you go into it. Of just like you're gonna drink some beers, you're gonna like hit some crazy shots. Like there's holes where it just like there's an arrow that points to where the flag is that day, and it's always in great shape. It's always like I think on Monday it's supposed to be like in the 70s down there because it's always warmer down there. That's one. And one of the other ones that I feel like really slept on that I'm always trying to get people to check out is Lone Tree. Lone Tree Golf Club. I don't think anyone's ever mentioned Lone Tree Golf Club in a conversation. Like that's such a good course, and it's just right there. You said you don't have to drive that far to get to it. It's just a good championship test of golf, and I think it's pretty reasonably priced, and like it's also attached to a resort, which I also didn't realize was a thing. That's the number one I think slept on spot.
Lone Tree, I like that. We've played there a few times. I'm actually a member at Inverness down in that same area, kind of right across the street from that. So
yeah,
that's where I play a good amount of my golf. Have you last two questions for me, a two-parter? Just have you played these? Have you played Inverness and have you played Spring Valley? And that's where we used to work. And we basically grew up there. We worked there since we were 13. I want to get your take on both of those golf courses.
Yeah, I think highly of both courses. Like Inverness is one that I've only ever played it in professional tournaments, so I've never played it just like with the boys or anything. But I really like Inverness, and it's so affordable too. Like besides the fact there's I think like a 20-year wait list, it looks like it's such a fun spot of just like it feels like a place that if you played there every day, you'd get better at golf. Like, and it's not gonna kick you in the dick every day either. Like it's just a good spot. And it just seems pretty low key too. It's in a nice area. Then we get to Spring Valley. Spring Valley has a little soft spot in my heart now. I actually, when I first started, I started at like course 80 or something. We got to course 100 was coming up, and they were like, you should do something for it. So we got like, I think like 44 or 48 guys, and we went out to Spring Valley and had like the 100th course. Everybody does it with me sort of thing. And like, I didn't know what to expect with spring. I've heard, like, I know what happened with flooded and it got rebuilt and it doesn't have views, but like truly also incredibly slept on and like such a good value if you're just willing to drive just a little further or if you live on like the southeast side of town. Like it's got two very different nines. It's got some really good holes, just a really good course. Like I remember they had talked to me and been like, hey, like don't dunk on our course or anything. And it was like, oh, okay. And like that kind of made me nervous too. And they say something like that. And I get out there and I was like, I was blown away by how good it was. I played that round with a former Broncos player, and he was like, yeah, I play out here all the time. And it's like, yeah, this place is sick. Like, why are people not talking about this place? Granted, I live in like East Centennial, and that place is still a haul from me, but like it's worth the drive. Like if you can't find a tee time, head down to Spring Valley and spend like $70 to play a good round of golf.
Yeah,
when did you?
we've definitely got a soft spot for that place. Not necessarily the current employees.
Yeah, not necessarily in its current state, but it's Spring Valley from 2007 to 2021 was pretty elite in our minds, in our books.
Because it was owned by like the original like person that built it, right? Or was it something like that?
Yeah, Tim Haynes was the owner it was their family farm that they built on the course, and then it got sold in end of 2020, I want to say. Is that right, Mitchell? That COVID year, and then it got sold end of 2020. And then I was the director of golf there, and Mitchell's the head pro there from basically 2020 through 2022. And that's when we left there in 2022 and then went on our separate ways. But yeah, it's the actual golf course itself. I mean, we've played it probably 1,000 times, and it's par threes are super challenging. There's some challenging par fours, and there's two very different nines, which makes it kind of fun as well.
It's a cool spot. And yeah, I definitely tell people to get out there. I think I've included in some videos of like affordable rounds.
Hell yeah, I love that. So my last question will be, what is the hardest golf course you think you've played, and why is it Bear Creek?
That's perfect. I have two categories for how I answer this question. So the first one is like, if we say unlimited yardage, if yardage can be a factor in how difficult it is, it has to be Rain Dance. I've played Rain Dance probably like 5 or 6 times.
That place can get bent.
We played it from the full teeth of 8,500 yards, where the rule was, because they don't put tee markers out for it, so you're the right foot in the rough thing. I went with 3 other pros. I think I shot like a 99. I think the best score in the group was like an 85 out of a group of golf pros. Like, I just don't even know who that course is meant for that distance. Like, I think it's perfect at like 7,600. It's a blast for me. But that course is so hard. But it's hard to evaluate how truthfully difficult it is. Like if I just changed every par 4 or every par 5 at Common Ground to a par 4, it'd also be a pretty hard course too.
Yes.
But
funny story about Rain Dance.
It's got to be Bear Creek.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Funny about Rain Dance. Why we laugh so much about that is because we played Rain Dance fairly quickly after they opened, and we played it from, I don't know if we did right foot in the rough scenario, but we were definitely back pretty as far as we could get. And Mitchell's a better player than I am. I'll fully admit that on this podcast, but I hit it way further than he does, probably 20, 30 yards, maybe more on some holes. And he literally couldn't get to the fairway on some of the holes, carrying it like 260. It was hilarious. I was enjoying it.
I'm not afraid to say that place fucking sucks. Like, great pros. The pro staff was out there. The assistant pro invited us, got us out. They were super nice, but that place can get bent, because I have never had less fun on a golf course. And I saw you actually made a video on that 270-yard par 3. It is legitimately like, just drop me next to the green hitting 3 at this point. I tried to hit 3-wood, hit it like shit, hit it thin. It just was, there was not a single time it felt like I could come up for air. And like you said, I don't know who that place is built for. I guess maybe Kyle Berkshire. And that is kind of it, because otherwise you're just flat out not having a good time there.
Oh yeah, and like two more things on Rain Dance. Of like one, I want to see a live event out there. Like I want to see like that. If there's a place that like should host a live event in Colorado, it's fucking Rain Dance. Like, so I hope
Agreed.
that comes to fruition at some point if it doesn't all collapse before then. Uh, and two, I had a buddy come to town that plays on the Canadian tour, and I was like, oh, let's go out to Rain Dance. And we went with a couple other pros, and it was like, you're gonna play from 8,500 yards. We're gonna play from like 7,200. We're just gonna play straight up. I think he didn't make a single birdie on like the front nine. Like he was like, that's the first time I haven't birdied a nine in like 10 or 12 years. He ended up shooting like three, which is just incredibly impressive from the tips there. But this is the guy that the first time he put in his first round, like good golfer, obviously. That place is just nuts.
Well, so real quick, I want you to elaborate a little more on Bear Creek because Spencer's been out there once. I've been out there probably 3 or 4 times, and I oddly seem to play very well because I don't hit it long, but it's not a long course. But it's pretty demanding. You got to put your ball in the right spots. You got to get up and down. But Spencer goes, I don't think this place is that hard. And I think he also shot like 82 or 83 that day. So, I don't really know if he can speak on how hard or easy it is, but what did you think of that track just from a layout standpoint?
Yeah. That place is just so like the most technically difficult course I think I've ever played anywhere in the country. And like I hit it far enough that I couldn't hit driver a lot. So it was just like, okay, I need you to hit the best 290-yard shot that you have, no further, no less. And then I'm going to need you to hit like a really good 220-yard shot into this green over water, and the green's going to have 3 tiers. And it's like, oh, cool. Like, so I just hit this 6 drive and hit a great iron shot. And it's like, you can just go fuck yourself, I guess. Like, I shot like 3 over on the front 9, and I was like, oh, maybe it's not too bad. And then I'm like, I think I ended up shooting in the 80s. It was just like, yeah, this is hard. I don't know if I could play that place on a daily basis. I might genuinely just quit playing golf.
It is a brutal one, and actually pretty funny story. Because one of my buddy's dads is a member there. Apparently, they brought Arnold Palmer out because he was the original designer.
Right.
The owner brought Arnold Palmer out before he passed. I think I want to say like 15, 20 years ago. And Arnold Palmer got out there and he goes, before we even get out there, I'm just telling you this right now. I'm not making this golf course any harder than it already is. He's like, I will not, because the owner just has some sort of sick kink fantasy about just dominating people and fucking watching them suffer. And Arnold Palmer's like, I'm not making it any harder. So that's how you know a golf course is pretty damn challenging.
Yeah. And like they were even telling me, they're like, yeah, some of the older members like quit being members because it's just like you don't have the carry distance anymore that's required for some of the holes. It's like, yeah, I've never heard of a course where people out-age the course.
Yeah, well, and when we were playing there, it's obviously the only men's only course in Colorado. Our mom is the one that got us into golf when we were little kids, and she just played at the Women's League at Spring Valley, and then we started playing there afterwards, and it became essentially careers for both of us and something we're going to do the rest of our lives. But every course I go to, I like it pops into my head, like, what would my mom do here? Almost like, WWJD, but it's like WWMD. What would mom do? And I was thinking about that at Bear Creek. I was like, there's multiple, because she's straight up hits the ball 10 feet off the ground most of the time, and it lands 100 yards out and rolls another 40, 50, depending upon the conditions. And I was like, there's multiple holes out here that she could not finish. Like there would be no way she would get from this point to this point. And I was like, oh yeah, older women and women in general just don't play here. So I guess that makes sense. But I was like, you can't do this. You could not do this.
Yeah, and like all discussions aside on that particular topic of like, I told Bill, I'm like, I don't think women are missing out on that course. I don't know that I don't think juniors are missing out. I don't think older people are missing out. Like, that is a ridiculously hard golf course that requires some like serious carry capability as well.
100%.
Like imagine learning golf there. Like that'd be nuts.
Yeah, no, you can travel anywhere. Like, I feel like that's how it is with Inverness. Like you said, Inverness makes me a better golfer, a traveling golfer, than like playing at Spring Valley my whole life. But you start playing golf there, every other place you go, you're like, this is just a fucking pitch and putt, some mini putt course here.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this up. We got one final question for you. It's a little segment we do called Fairway or Four. We do this with our guests sometimes. So we're going to ask you a golf-related question, and you just have to say if you think it's fairway or you think it's four. Way right, not correct. Charging half of a cart fee is an applicable thing for golf courses.
Fairway. It's like you're either going to pay part for you just fit on your own, or do you want to pay for both carts at once?
Yes, 100%. And that is something that the golf industry has not seemed to, or the people, new golfers and things, they can't seem to wrap their head around the fact that the total, say, is $40 for the cart, but it's $20 per person. Now, if you'd rather pay $40 for an entire cart, you're more than welcome to do whatever you want to do in there. But people just don't understand, like, what? Oh, so why am I paying for half the cart and I have to ride with somebody? Because it's per rider. It's not per cart.
Yeah, people think you're paying like a double cart fee. It's like, no, this is just half the cart fee. Like the cart fee would be much more.
Yes, it is. It's an age-old thing that a lot of people just don't seem to understand and wrap their heads around. Real quick, my last question: what's like the craziest thing you've seen at Common Ground? Because we know a lot of different kinds of golfers come out there. It's in an interesting part of town. Not always the safest area from time to time. There's a lot of ambulance and policemen flying up and down. I think Pena Boulevard right there. What is like the craziest thing you've seen out there so far?
Unfortunately, I've only been out here since like November, so I don't have enough stories from Common Ground yet. But between Wellshire and City Park, you get some good ones. Like when I was at Wellshire, like that's like it's kind of one of those weird parts of town where like it's in kind of a nice area, but kind of borders a not great area, and still within the city of Denver. I probably called 911 at least like once a quarter for whatever nonsense that could possibly be happening. But like at City Park, and this was probably one of my last weeks at City Park, is we had a guy on the driving range just like, and this is like winter too, so it was cold, it was a cold day. This is an important detail of this. This guy's in shorts. He brought his own bucket of beers. I don't know where he got this bucket, like a Home Depot bucket full of beers. And he is just hammered, and he's going up like just talking shit to people on the range, of just like saying the stuff to you like, man, I can hit it way past you, like, and he's like just dogging on people and like pushing people, and it was like, it's like, what is this? Like, I'm like, this is the most City Park thing I've ever seen. The shirt comes off. He's not wearing a shirt anymore. He's like literally going up and flexing on people. Like it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I was like, yep, that's City of Denver for you right there. You got to call the park ranger.
Oh yeah, even City Park is just crazy. Like you have people running in the middle of the golf course. You have people that think it's just like a public park. And you're like, no, you can't really be on here unless you're playing golf. But yeah, that is talk about an interesting part of town as well, where it's very nice, but then it's can be not as nice around there, and you're like, holy shit, I'm sure some people have slept on that golf course before. Like it's I'm sure you saw some very entertaining things. Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, you find drugs. One day we found a crossbow bolt on one of the greens, like a literal crossbow bolt that was just like stuck into the green. And it's just like, someone just firing this thing off. Like, is this where could this possibly have come from?
Oh man, that's awesome. Too good.
Well, Cam, make sure everybody goes and follows Cam on Instagram, PGA_Cam Crabtree, journeying or documenting this whole journey of playing every golf course in Colorado. We'll have to have you back on. Maybe we'll do this every year in like January or February and see how far. So remind us again, you're at what number, and there's roughly 300 courses in Colorado?
We're at 124. The goal is to play 50 more this year is the goal. Hoping to hit way more mountain courses. So if you're looking like to just see anything around Colorado, and especially the mountain courses this year, go ahead and drop a follow and just see the journey.
Love that, dude. Well, appreciate your time today. Appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I know your sheet's full, unfortunately for you, on February. I'm playing golf tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about this weather. But appreciate you taking the time and look forward to following you on this journey. And everybody go follow him at PGA_Cam Crabtree. Follow us. If this is the first time you're seeing our pod, follow us on Instagram at Big Drive Energy Golf or Big Drive Energy on TikTok and Twitter. Appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great weekend.